Right, hi everyone, welcome to another log video. I'm filming this near the end of the day of clearing all of these trees, but there's going to be a fair few videos on this. It's a decent sized job. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Rob. I live off grid in Aberdeenshire in Scotland, and this is going to be a video about me clearing some storm damaged trees from December 2024. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Stick around till the end and I'll see you there. So as you can see by this pile of hopefully firewood, I've been clearing some storm damage. These are the trees that came down in December. We're now 1st of February, but I've had an incredibly sore back the whole of January, so I've been trying to avoid doing too much physical labour because I did it splitting firewood. I split 2 whole larch trees in about 3 hours, got them all stacked up, and then could barely walk the next day. So as I've said before, none of these videos are in any way meant to be a how-to. It's just giving myself an opportunity to talk about the stuff that I do. As you can see behind me, I've got my Holtzformer Farmertech G366, a rip-off of a Stihl MS361, and the beast, the G660, again a rip-off of a Stihl MS660. So I love these saws, mainly because they're what I can afford. They're not as good as a Stihl, but they are bloody good, and they've taught me a lot. I'll explain in another clip about how that's not my first G366. There's a bit of a painful story there. So yeah, these trees are a couple of Scots pine, couple of larch. Luckily they're behind my living space, but they have been a pain in the butt and they need cleared. I've tried to cut them into 12-inch-ish segments, so they fit in my log burner, because I have a horrible habit when I get tired of cutting logs longer and longer. I can just fit a 14-inch log in my wood burner, but only if it's just the right size. And when I took down the big ash over the other side of my land, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna cut to 14 inches and I'm gonna have as few logs as possible. I'm gonna be really efficient. And in no way was it more efficient, because I've had to take out a lot of those logs and recut them, because especially the chunky ones, they're 14 inches long and they're chunky, they just don't get into the fire properly. So that was a painful and frustrating lesson, as most of them are. So yeah, I just thought I'd start filming because it's a beautiful day. Typically you can hear in the background my landlord is also cutting up some trees. He started just as I started to film this, but that's okay. It is, after all, a chainsawing video. So yeah, I've recorded a few little clips here and there. I'm going to try and patch them together into a video. Hopefully this makes sense and is entertaining. We'll see. I don't know if anyone's watching this or when, but nothing that I filmed over the last 2 months has actually made it to the internet yet. So here's hoping this one does. So, as it's such a nice day today, I'm going to film a fair bit of what I'm doing, and I'm going to talk a lot to take advantage of the good weather. So, I find it's very difficult to stand in front of a camera and just talk. I tend to ramble. I worry too much about what I'm saying. I find it much easier to be doing something. And I've watched a lot of videos over the last few years on how to start a YouTube channel and what to do and what not to do. And the big advice is always to just start filming. And I found it incredibly useful. I'm going to keep saying it, but over the last few months I have filmed a lot of stuff, and a lot of that won't make it onto the internet because I don't think it's good enough for various reasons, or I don't like the background, or you know, I just thought I looked like shit. So what I have found is that when I'm doing a job, I find it much easier to talk. And also what I found really useful is to watch the videos back. So if anyone is watching this and has thought about filming for YouTube or just for social media or anything like that, just film yourself. I've got my phone on a £6 tripod that I bought in an auction. It's slightly broken, but it works. So that gives me somewhere to put my phone that gives me a half decent angle. And I filmed myself doing a bunch of jobs. And messing up. And I found it really useful to watch those videos back on my laptop in detail and look at what I'm doing. And I found that I'm picking up on mistakes I'm making by watching what I'm doing. So I spent a couple of hours back in December filming me breaking down my 660, basic maintenance, sharpening the chain, greasing the bearings, all that kind of stuff. And it was really good. I'm never going to publish that because I think it's a shit video. But as I was watching it back, I was like, oh, I'm not filing that chain right. I'm not doing that right. Oh, I messed that up. And I just found it really useful. So even if you never publish anything, even if this never sees the light of day, I think it's valuable because I'll watch this back either tonight or tomorrow on my laptop, and I'll look at what I'm doing. How am I standing? How am I using the saw? Am I being safe? Am I being sensible? Was there a better way I could do that? And I think it's really important to be self-aware and self-critical. Lots of people will film themselves and put it on the internet from an egotistical perspective. Look at how good I am. Look at this amazing thing I'm doing. And quite a lot of people will watch the videos and cringe and be like, you're not doing that right. That's not good. What are you playing at? My aim is really, as I've said, and I'll probably say a million times, I'm filming myself for my own memories, my own kind of self-improvement. And I just think it's really useful to look back on this stuff in the cold light of a new day when I'm not involved in the middle of the job, and I can think, you know, was I really doing it how I should be, or am I just chatting shit and being an idiot? So yeah, I'm quite happy for people to see mistakes I make. I make plenty of them. Again, I'll say it many times, I'm very much just a bloke living in the woods, or what were woods, there's not much left, and trying to do the best I can, and trying to improve things for myself, and trying to make progress. And yeah, I think filming stuff and talking about it to a camera and then watching it back is a really valuable tool. So you do not have to try and become, cut that a bit long, an internet star, you can just record yourself, watch it back and think, you know, am I doing this right? You know, be a bit self-critical. It's something that I'm very big on, is being self-aware, being self-critical, and trying to improve all the time. And hopefully I've got enough of a handle on my ego, and it's not too fragile, that I can put this out on the internet, take critical feedback. So all I'm doing now is clearing my work area and shoving all the logs in a big pile, because where the camera is, I should better reverse my tractor and dump trailer in, put the trailer where the camera is, and I can split all of these logs and load them into the trailer, because they're far too big to be lugging around as they are. So that's the plan, and then give myself lots of working space around here so that I'm not tripping over logs all the time. So I do try as I'm cutting to clear a bit of space, but I find between fuel tanks it's a good time to just stop and clear a bit of space, and then you work better when you start going again. Oh, I'm still working away, but I'm going to film an outro here because I filmed far too much today for a single video. If you've watched this far, thanks very much. If you like the video, please give it a like, a share and a subscribe. Yeah, tell your friends, tell your family, anyone else you know who might like the video. Hopefully I've spoken some sense at some point, and I shall see you in the next one.